All right. Next up, we have Dan van der Stier from the Ceph Foundation. Thank you, Dan.
Thanks a lot. Okay, cool. So, yeah, who here's heard of Ceph before? Who in the room? Put up your hand if you've heard of Ceph. Okay, yeah. I was in a room yesterday where nobody had heard of Ceph. And they gave me a little advice. They said, you got to be able to explain what you do without using the word Ceph. So, I don't know, I think that applies kind of like to a lot of the open source people. Anyway, I'm going to talk about Ceph. You know, Ceph and OpenStack and open infrastructure grew up together. For those of us that have been in this area for more than a decade, this was really like the technologies that drove open infrastructure in the 2010s. Right place, the right time for on-prem infrastructure. So I'm happy to be here at Open Infra Summit to talk about Ceph. Yeah, Ceph is unified storage. Today, that's how it's really classified in the market. When customers are looking, they're looking for something that can kind of solve. Maybe it's not a super specialist like a scratch space or like it's not a tape system, right? But it's a general purpose. Install one system, you can solve it all. Solve everything, object, block, and file, right? And it's growing. It's still growing more and more popular. This is our public telemetry. That shows like 2 exabytes used. Actually, we know like most people aren't reporting there. We have to guess what the real numbers are. They're probably like 20 exabytes, 30, maybe 50 exabytes, something like that. But actually, I'll comment on that at the end. This is actually something like an opportunity, I would say. Now, Ceph and OpenStack goes together. I want to talk about, we're talking about how to get people out, have a great place to land if you want to find another place after VMware or something like that. So I just want to like deep dive into some of the technologies that we're still working on in the Ceph world to make sure that the like underlying storage is really like the best. It's the fastest, it's the best, has the most features. And this is a really short talk, but I just wanted to like zoom in on one thing that we've just completed, and it'll be in the next version of Ceph coming out like right now. I think we just tagged it like maybe today or like this week or last week. Okay, so that's the Ceph Tentacle version. And a little bit of story time first. Like, I'm on sabbatical from CERN right now, and my first gig 2 years ago, like I went into an organization, they had a problem with block storage performance. I had to go in there and optimize, like, why is it slow? Ceph is slow. It's like, heard that before. We took a look at the, we did some performance debugging there, looking at the logs, see what's going on. They had a very wide erasure coding system, okay, maybe 8+3. And they were complaining, looking into it, it's like, wow, this cluster's got a lot of reads, like tens of gigabytes and hundreds of thousands, millions of IOPS reading. Like, what's going on? Who's doing this? And you look inside and you're like, oh, like every time you try to read like 200 bytes, actually it reads the whole stripe. It reads all like 11 disks, it's reading them all, okay? Very suboptimal. They're running an older version, but like it's like, wow, what's going on here? So this kind of triggered a whole story where now the last 2 years, we've worked with IBM and worked to actually re-optimize in many different ways the erasure coding performance for let's say substripe reads, substripe writes, and things like that. So here's this is kind of a picture. I don't have a laser, but this is like that's how data is laid out. It's like if you do RAID arrays and stuff like that, it's the same, right? The data is written like this. Actually, just to read or write a small part of that, you've got to read out and rewrite the whole thing. It's like super expensive. Erasure coding is basically like not that, it has a lot of problems in the block storage world. So what have we done? Like this is the new. This is when you upgrade to Ceph Tentacle, which is, it'll be Ceph version 20. You'll be able to just, on an existing erasure coding pool, enable fast erasure coding, and you'll get, it'll be this much, like you can imagine what the speed up's going to be. Those pictures are credit to our friends at IBM there from Ceph Day London. Here's some plots showing the speed ups and IOPS. So what this is like on the left, it's like the number of it's the number of IOPS that you're throwing at the system, and the vertical is the latency. So normally in a storage system, you throw more work at it, it gets slower and slower. So it's like, when is that wall? When's that brick wall of performance? With Squid, which is the current version, like last year's version, you see on that particular test system, you can only get to like 40,000 IOPS. But now in Tentacle, you can get like 80 or 100,000 IOPS before latency starts increasing. So much, much better performance. Really excited about that. Next slide. Yeah, so that's like just, I wanted to highlight one thing that's gonna make a huge, huge impact in like our ability to like really use open source technology for all kinds of environments. Yeah, I mean, if you want to hear more about Ceph and stuff, if you want to participate, you want to help do work like that, there's the various links that we have for the project, the foundation. We've got 16, 17 different organizations financially supporting the project, and you can follow the links there. And yeah, actually, I just flew in, landed at the airport an hour ago from Vancouver. I'm flying back tomorrow because we've got Cephalicon in Vancouver next week. And if you haven't registered yet, believe it or not, that QR code works. You can click there and register. There's still room, a few tickets left. And it would be awesome if, is anybody going? Is anybody actually, yeah, like 10 people back there? Awesome, yeah, okay. All right, that's the end of my talk. Oh yeah, I wanted to say one thing. The other thing I learned yesterday, we're so proud of this, like 10, 20, 30 exabytes or so. But in the room I was there yesterday, he was saying like, that's not even a 10th or a 100th of a percent of what is like, storage infrastructure installed out there. So like, we think maybe we're at like the top of the mountain, right? We're not even like starting the mountain. We have to like, there's a huge opportunity we have to really make a big impact. Okay, that's it. Thank you.